Hi, and welcome to this week's video edition of the Statehouse Live blog. I'm Peter Hancock. We're now going into week 2 of the Kansas legislative session. This is when lawmakers will start dissecting the budget that Governor Sam Brownback laid out last week. The governor gave his State of the State address Thursday night and immediately set the stage when he called for repealing the school finance formula and funding schools this year with block grants instead. It was pretty clear what kind of partisan tone that was going to set, as Republican legislators rose to their feet and cheered at that proposal, while Democrats sat in a kind of stony silence. Dozens of teachers and other public school advocates wearing their trademark red shirts packed the lobby outside the House chamber, hoping to catch the governor and lawmakers either coming in or going out. Later, they went down the hall to the old Supreme Court room, where legislative Democrats responded to the speech by criticizing the governor's education plan and the tax cuts enacted a few years ago, which they argue are the cause of the state's $700 million plus budget shortfall. The real details of the governor's budget plan came out the next day with the publication of the official budget report. That showed that the proposed block grants to schools for the next 2 years would basically be the same level of funding that schools got last year, minus this year's increase in the cost of pension contributions and a few other items. All in all, it looks like about a $107 million cut for public education in Kansas. But one thing the governor did not cut was higher education. Universities, community colleges, and technical schools that are governed by the Board of Regents will get essentially flat funding next year. Officials at Kansas University were pretty happy with that. In this environment, their line is, flat funding is the new up. The governor also called for significant tax increases on liquor and cigarettes to plug the budget gap, and he's proposing to slow down but not eliminate some of the tax cuts that are scheduled to take effect in future years. The House and Senate budget committees will start hearings on the governor's plan, and it'll take the rest of the session for them to write a final budget, which may or may not look like the one that the governor proposed. So keep checking the Lawrence Journal World and ljworld.com throughout the week. Until then, thanks for logging in. I'm Peter Hancock.